Hello, what is up guys? Welcome back to another fucking video. And today I'm gonna talk about so about 2 days ago there was something trending on Twitter that has to do with hashtag Blue Lives Matter. It was trending on number 7 for like quite a while, for about 2 hours actually, which I was pretty surprised. So basically, probably like the thing, of course you could talk about my shirt. I'm clearly pro Second Amendment, and I'm clearly Blue Lives Matter, as you can see on the monitor right here. But here is the thing right now, Twitter is literally one of the dumbest places that you could just come across, like throughout the whole platform, or just Twitter and just the internet just in itself. So I have 2 videos to cover, and I'm here to analyze them perfectly and vividly so you guys can understand it. If you guys don't know, both of these videos actually take place in California, which is, you already know, it's a Democrat state, primarily. And most of the delegates and just the representatives are mostly Democrats, and most of the establishment is Democrat. So basically, I'm here just talking about how California is pretty much just malnourished and clearly just not right in the head. Also, I need to mention the fact that in the Twitter feed of the hashtag Blue Lives Matter feed, this right here is an attempt of humor, and this right here is just pure pseudo-intellectual garbage, which gives me the hardest cringe of them all. This is actual humor for the libtards of themselves. Actual humor right here, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so basically the Twitter feed that we're going to be talking about is especially the man named Joshua Potash, one of the weirdest and the most creepiest pedophilic people I've ever seen in my whole life. It's fascinating how the Blue Lives Matter crowd suddenly doesn't like the police when they're not even doing what they want them to do. It's almost like if it was just about opposing the Black Lives Matter movement. There's so many things just wrong with this fucking goddamn post just in itself. But I'm not just going to review the video, I'm actually going to analyze it with you. This video is at least 1 minute and 39 seconds long about just the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, why don't you go arrest the criminal scum? Why don't you go arrest the criminal scum taking everyone's rights?
Okay, so basically this man said, why don't you just go arrest the criminal scums taking everyone's rights, which is kind of demanding. Okay, so this man is referring to Gavin Newsom. So basically, I'm going to be very objective here. So Gavin Newsom is basically a former San Francisco mayor who has a formed political affiliation and reputation as a risk taker who has some pretty controversial stuff in his own pocket. So he supports gay marriage in states legalizing cannabis markets, and which has one of the toughest gun laws in Sacramento, and not even just Sacramento, but also in California itself. And now they're going to tell you why a lot of people hate Gavin Newsom, and there's people literally going to burst down his town hall. Only thing I'm going to read is just the things that are highlighted in yellow, of course. So Sacramento's California businesses seen as presenting less risk of spreading the corona could open in the near future under a plan of Governor Gavin Newsom, unveiled Tuesday, suggests there were several slow steps statewide shutdown order. We believe we are weeks, not months, away from making meaningful modifications, quote-unquote. He said while current public health indicators such as hospitalization and the testing capacity look promising, additional progress is needed to be made towards slowing the spread of the virus. And of course, this is receiving a lot of backlash from a lot of people who live in Sacramento, not just in Sacramento, but a lot of people who live in California who are also just experience the same type of thing that Gavin Newsom is imposing or just proposing, because a lot of people don't want to stay at home and people just want to fucking work for once.
Instead of a citizen out here with a gun. You guys are fucking pathetic. And we need to be sorry. Don't you all my friends. We need to be sorry. Please stand to defend themselves from tyranny.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, so all this, why are people just freaking out about the police and just the Blue Lives Matter movement? So basically the Blue Lives Matter movement is basically saying to the Democrats, can you stop messing with the polices? And just the polices I mean, but like the people who are inside their own, the rulings of the governor, right? Definition about, you know, just governmental tyranny, it's basically an oppressive rule of someone else's rights. That in itself is just despotism, which is basically the the definition I just said before. Now, basically, the Blue Lives Matter movement is basically saying that you cops are basically listening to people who are ruling over us, right? So that's in itself, that is kind of true. Like, even the guy's blabbering his mouth, he's just talking out of his ass. He is in a right where this government, when the government is basically, or just the governor ruling, is basically saying that you over here, you can't do this, you can't walk to the beach, And you can't just Governor Newsom actually shut down over like 300 businesses, just in Sacramento, and people are staying inside their homes. And I don't even know that if people are actually getting that stimulus package if they can. I'm not saying. I mean, I'm just saying, right?
Tyrants! Go fucking kick. Yeah, you have rights that we don't have, right, scum? Get out of here, scum!
I'm on stop killing! Nobody cares about you!
Alright, Mr. Pedophilic Potash. So basically, the problem here is not the police. The problem here simply is the people who are ruling the police, which is Gavin Newsom, or just the governors in itself. There's a lot of things that are happening, the same thing as the similarities like in New York, where people can't even fucking go outside, just go, like, take out a piss or something. Or take out the garbage can, you have to stay fucking inside for the rest of your life. Oh, I'm just over-exaggerating. But at the same time, Mr. Potash, pedophilic man, simply, I'm already done with this video, and this was, like, the easiest thing I could just debunk. Alright, so basically this video is not going to be analyzed by me by that much, because this video is just basically representing the protesters getting really pissed off at Gavin Newsom's little policies, and especially in this town hall. A lot of people, that are protesting, and people are just on Twitter are saying that this is like one of the easiest things that a policeman could go against like white people, because they're white, they're not going to shoot them or pepper spray them, which is one of the stupidest things ever in my whole life to hear. So basically what we have right here is like 4 fucking women trying to pile up on these officers, and I'm going to review some of the Twitter comments or the Twitter feed that are basically criticizing this and just a protest just in itself. We have a fucking gladiator over here named Vivian. Where's the tear gas? The pepper spray? These are the same type of people screaming #Blue Lives Matter. Alright, Mrs. Vivian, the gladiator of the fucking internet. So basically what's happening in this situation is that these people are like piling up, right? And since they're not really taking orders from the highest staff, from the police officers, they didn't really specify either if they're going to pepper spray them or not. So just because they're white or because they're whatever the race that they claim to be, and most of them right here are actually white instead of like, you know, the minority groups or whatever the case is. But I certainly do believe that probably there's some people around there who are the highest chief of staff, especially being in that type of area of being a cop, probably didn't say that they wanted to shoot the pepper spray or to try to tear gas them anyways. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, not every conservative thinks the same, not every liberal thinks the same, not every person thinks the same. That's why this whole world is just so divided with so many ideas. But the point is about this whole video is basically just trying to look at the video in itself, and people even trying to say in the background that to take it peacefully and protest all nicely. But you know, not everyone thinks the same. If I were these people, I would just make this rally or whatever the fuck this is, a protest. I don't even know if it's considered a protest, because some of it does come into some type of physicality. And so basically, I understand where the white people are so stressed out about this situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have someone who is a fucking veteran of SJWism named Jeffrey Levin, quoting and just saying to themselves, "There's so much for the #Blue Lives Matter. These protesters are all full of crap." And then quoting another person saying, Shannon Watts, "This was Sacramento yesterday. These groups of extremists who are often armed white men are distracting police, threatening lawmakers and public health officials, are fomenting racism, all during a public health crisis." Alright, so basically, I already even said this before, like even at the start of the video, that people are actually stressed out because they are losing money, and people are actually, like, you actually don't even know who are these people. Like, you don't know them. What if there's people who own a small business in this crowd? You don't even know if people are actually suffering some type of mental illness in this type of crowd. People are stressing over this, and there is a reason why Gavin Newsom needs to open up their businesses and everything about the beaches to release stress. So, all in all, the video in itself about this is all pertaining to why Gavin Newsom needs to open up his businesses, and the businesses in Sacramento. There's so many jobs and that's actually plummeting, and the employment rate is hitting at 6% in Sacramento right now. And I understand why people are being stressed out over this. This is bananas.